Welcome to Lost in Circus, short, sweet videoettes of cool circus people we meet while we're traveling around the world. They've all been asked the same 3 questions. How did you get lost in circus? What's the crack with you now? And what's your next adventure?
Oh. Hello, I'm Amy, but I'm also known as Misbehave. I am, I guess, what you would call a comedian, but I prefer to call myself an entertainer, or sort of, maybe a producer, kind of organiser, maverick. Should be a stand-up, but I'm not. When I was 15, I saw my first performer, and at that point, I decided with a friend, me and her, we were flyers at the time, and we decided that all performers were pretentious cunts. And in some ways, that has never changed, and it is a wrestle I've had forever. Because I find the exhibitionist side and the need to put your art out to the world something that is yours, whereas for me, I like to facilitate other people's good times. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. I see myself as someone who works in hospitality. I got lost in circus by discovering Sideshow. And at that point, I had been flyering and selling jeans in Camden Market, flyering in Leicester Square for about 4 or 5 years, and I'd burnt out from working like that, and I had decided I wanted to learn how to swallow a sword because I thought I'd be very good at it because I learned on the bouncers of the West End. True story. And I thought, I reckon I can do that. And then I started busking in bars, standing on a bar. There were 3 bars in the West End that let me on a Thursday and Friday and Saturday, stand on the bar, they'd turn the music down, I'd shout at people, neck a sword, pass the pint glass. And it paid my rent for about a year. What I am up to now, so for a long time what I did was I was a sword swallower who got sick of being kind of rah, and I decided to make it a bit more like entertaining in a sense. So I kind of, through working in fetish clubs, nightclubs, alt cabaret, street, I sort of pulled together this persona which is sort of an exaggeration of me, Misbehave. And I was doing special acts, which was swallowing swords or table legs or scissors, sticking roses through my tongue, playing with the audience, stealing their drinks. I was in a lovely show. We toured around the world doing it. I was wearing skin-tight rubber, and I was kind of this genitalless sex clown, if that makes sense. Like I was somehow non-gender specific, but very overtly whatever. And it took me about 10 years of doing that to realize that I was actually embarrassed with what I was doing, because it was, what's the right word for it? It was, no, exhibitionist is the wrong word. It was fantastic, and it was great, but it wasn't me. And then I got viral meningitis. I burnt out hardcore. And then I wanted to put something together that was more about fucking shit up and smashing shit up. And I also thought, what about, instead of high production, because every time I put on production, I would be let down by lights or sound or whatever. I thought, what if you go the polar opposite? What if you pay attention to detail to the world, but you go absolutely the other way, so you have really, really low production, lo-fi. And so I've always loved cardboard. I've slept on the street many times, and I thought my aesthetic's going to be cardboard, marker pens. I think the world is fucked, so I'm going to put in my sort of happy nihilism. And I put this show together pretty much immediately in Adelaide, in a little sideshow tent, 15 minutes, and I have a game show. I divide the audience based on their phones. We play very, very silly games, and I essentially incite them to riot. So I'm now doing the Misbehave game show, and that's it in a nutshell. Trump and Brexit happened, and I decided we also need to learn how to talk to each other again, and kindness is kind of a cool thing. So let's put a bit of that in. So now the evolved version of the game show is, let's fuck shit up, everything's fucked, be kind to each other. That's what I'm doing now. I'm currently doing that game show, ridiculous though this sounds, subversive, weird, anarchic game show, and it's surviving in Vegas, which is ridiculous. We've been there 18 months, and my plan for the future is to bring down the Emperor's new clothes. I am sick to death of mediocrity, hype, and people who want to make money in middle management, ruining my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful peers and gorgeous, gorgeous craft that is all around us. So I want to pull down the curtain, show that they're all fucking naked, and take it back to the brilliant people who should be doing it, should be in charge. That's my mission, and I will fucking ruin you if you're a hypocrite, if you're greedy, and if you're mediocre. Plan.